We are very bold at the makeup today, and that's because I needed it. I needed a mood booster. I kind of want to talk about the growth and like the waiting time periods with growth, and how the frustrations that can come up when, say, you enact a spell and you're waiting for it to come into fruition, I guess. You manifest something, you do the vision board, you do the whole thing, you put in the work, and now you're in waiting mode. And as you wait and wait and wait, we have an analogy, I guess, for this, with the idea of like, yeah, even though you're struggling, even though it feels like you're in the dark, it's like a seed when you plant it, right? And everyone just tells you, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Give it time, let the universe process. And eventually, supposedly, you will then see the sprouts start coming up through the dirt. The plant will reach out for the sun. After all that struggle and time, you will eventually, supposedly, get your result. Time and patience gives you a lot. And that can be true. But I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about when you have been in the dirt, you have been in the darkness, you have been waiting and waiting and waiting and hoping all your hard work has turned out. And it's been some time. And suddenly you realize that's a bad seed in that dirt. Like, our disappointments are just so overbearing at times, right? And it can be really hard to then get yourself up to casting a spell again, to striking out on a new adventure, on getting the will up to then take that small eensy beensy little seed again that may as well be a dud. Maybe it will die out, maybe again another weed, because there is no certainty. But then I have to then put it back in the dirt and then wait again, maybe for more disappointments, maybe for a blessing this time. Maybe all my hard work will gain me fruition, but oh goodness, those disappointments. I've recently had one of those. I was really excited for possibly something to go really great and right, and instead it wasn't so much like I got kicked in the teeth, and it wasn't like something caught fire or, you know, a horrible health thing happened. It just didn't turn out how I was hoping. I envisioned different parts of my lives and planting seeds. Planting a seed for finances, planting a seed for love, planting a seed for, you know, good health and relationships, planting a seed for my role in society, planting a seed in my witchcraft. There's so, like, I got so many different pots and plants going off, right? And like, one will kick up and then suddenly it's like, oh no, it needs to be tended to, and another one will kick up and tended to, and you're kind of constantly balancing your attention span between the growth and the different plants of our lives, right? But again and again and again, I find myself so frustrated with this waiting time, even though I understand exactly how necessary it is to continue to plant the seeds. It's a lot of times a numbers game sometimes, right? Like, just keep putting a seed in the ground, eventually something will grow. You know, put the seed in the ground, water it, fertilize. But giving that waiting time, getting into it again and again and again, to have failure after failure after failure, because it's not even necessarily anything you did wrong. And that's the hardest part about this. When you put your magic out there and maybe you talk with others, you show them your dead plant and you're like, what happened? And they're all like, I don't know, just try again, keep going. But you're like, give me something productive to do, please. Universe, guides, people at large, friends, family, someone I rely on, give me something productive that I can do, that I can change. It's something that I can control. But it's admitting our lack of control over things, and the fact that something falling apart and dying, something wilting, something not seeding or budding up through the dirt, sometimes it's nothing to do with what we did. We didn't do anything wrong. It just didn't work out. And I'm using this plant analogy because I have been very desperately recently clinging to Persephone and some of the ideas of going to the underworld and coming back out, and these cycles and this, because I feel like in so many ways my life, probably like a lot of other people, has felt on pause even though life is still moving forward, right? Like, life is still happening, just it looks so different, and it feels so much slower and drawn out, and it does feel like, oh, summer is coming, like, and not just summer as in the season, but summer of like, oh yay, the nice things are going to happen again. I feel like it is, I know growth is happening. I see it in small other ways. Maybe in one realm of my life it seems like, oh, maybe something is sprouting up, dirt's shifting. But in so many other ways it feels like I keep planting seeds and nothing is happening. And oh, it's hard, right? It's hard to motivate ourselves to get back at the altar, to go back on the dating app, to look at our bank accounts again, even though we just took a huge financial hit, and giving up the control again. Knowing that, like, hey, I can control this one thing. I have the control to take the seed and to plant the seed. And I know it's better to at least plant the seed because it might grow this time. If I don't ever plant the seed, nothing's gonna happen. But that admittance, that nice feeling of, yeah, but if I'm in control of the seed, if I don't cast the spell, if I don't go on the app, if I don't invest the money, if I don't do the thing, then the failure is on me. There is something about that blame that is very comforting. Well, I didn't do it, so of course it didn't happen. I have a solid reason that the plant did not grow in that one realm of my life. Something about that unknown, that chaotic, is so much more terrifying to me because I feel like in a weird way, it's almost like a commentary on who I am as a person, right? Like it's a weird way of saying it doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many seeds you plant. It's not growing because that isn't meant for you, or that isn't what you deserve. It's nothing to do with how hard you work or if you keep trying. That is never going to come into your life. And that thought is, again, logically, I can sit here and go, well, that seems like nonsense. What, am I going back to the weird, like, puritanical Christian realm of God has deemed you unworthy, so therefore suffer? No, absolutely not. I think the universe is way more chaotic in that. It isn't so much of judging just like you are good or bad. Black and white thinking. It has never served me. Anyway. But, ooh, does that linger though? And I find it weaseling its little vines and things and strangling out my drive to keep going, because I'd rather have it be a fault of my inaction in so many ways than thinking of what does it mean if I keep on trying at this thing, giving it my literal all, and still I get nothing. Oof, I get no reward. Now, is that a commentary on the fact that I'm looking for a reward? That's another whole thing. Like, you expect something nice out of life? Well, there's your problem. Well, that's silly too. We all deserve some semblance of nice things. Whether the nice thing is a partner, the nice thing is a raise. I've gotten into this very, I'm in the dirt. It is darkness and worms and underworldy to its most extent. And it's not a comfy under place. It's a very, like, I feel grimy, I feel icky. I feel like I can tell that, like, I need to linger in it though. I need the nourishment of the soil, of the darkness. I need that time that I go back to, again, what my card year for the year was, which is the Hermit. The introspection, the being alone, the listening to our intuition and what is the next step forward. And I have small inklings, you know, I have that little in the back of my head that goes plant the seed, cast the spell, move forward, push, but it's hard. And I guess I just kind of want to make this video. It's a little bit whiny, a little complaining, because one, I got plants that I'm growing as I've kind of interspersed here as I've been talking. And seeing that progress of them finally sprouting and stuff is definitely really, really nice to know. It's like, hey, I can grow an herb. I can have a plant grow. But I also recently have repotted one of my plants that was kind of overflowing its pot. I took a small thing away from it and put it into a smaller little cup. I might have killed this little thing. I did this previously exactly the same way and it turned out fine. But something about how I did it this way, it didn't. And it might have been actually nothing that I did, just for some reason this cutting do what I needed it to do. Don't really know why. It just was a failure. Like, it's such a very simple visual representation of other things going on in my life right now, where again, it's just another disappointment. And I think this is what it really comes down to. Because I think at some points in our lives, we all have instinctual feelings inside that tell us to keep going. Push, 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 push. It's hard, but no, I deserve this. It just is gonna take a little more hard work than possibly I was expecting. But sometimes, those weed tendrils, those things that curl around us and strangle out, don't just take away our hope or our positive thinking for a while. You know, sometimes it wrangles itself all the way in to our instincts and even our intuition, and it clouds it, makes us doubt it, makes us sit there for a minute and think, fuck, what if everything that I know, that I've been thinking, that I seem to know inside my bones, the very like deep-seated stuff, is wrong? The doubt has wriggled its way that deep where it never has before. And it's really hard when you're that deep in the dirt to remember that you're still growing. That it's almost near impossible to really truly squish out the intuition, to smother it entirely. And I think that's what I'm trying to do right now, is to get into the habit of continually planting more seeds in all of my pots, all of my sections of life. Even when my very intuition doesn't say no, but seems to be absent. When the very connection that I feel to my life's purpose seems to be in turmoil. And maybe this is part of my Saturn return. Maybe this is it. This is the judgment. This is the questioning. It brings you all the way back down to that one kernel, the thing you seem to know more than anything else, and even doubt that. So you can make sure you're headed down the right path. Make sure you're going in the right direction. Make sure you're watering the right plant. But ooh, is that hard? That checking situation. That truly unknown. Am I watering the right plant? Have I been watering weeds this whole time? Am I gonna have to dig up this whole freaking garden that I've planted? Because I don't necessarily know if what I'm planting next is right or good, if it will sprout. Is this actually where my life needs to go? Part of it, I think, is just kind of trusting. Blind trust. Truly blind trust in the universe, in your deities, in magic, in your own inner power, that you can actually bring something forth. Trusting even if you don't trust. Even if you don't necessarily have any sort of inner knowing that says, yeah, this way. There's nothing pushing on your shoulder. There's seems to be just kind of true doubt is what I'm thinking. It's like the purest fucking form of it. You don't know if help is coming. You don't know if it's actually gonna get better. You don't know. Really do not know. There's no deity whispering in your ear. There's no weird dreams coming in. There's no pull at your soul or at different energy levels. No tingles from the stone or the magic or even the moon. Just nothing. And to keep going anyway. Because maybe if you're at the darkest point, maybe if you really are doubting, you're like, listen, I've been trying my fucking ass off. Maybe that's when it finally reaches the soil level. Maybe finally then you reach and you get a little sunshine, a little bit of breath. Maybe. But that's where I'm kind of at right now. I'm deep in the soil. I've got a lot of doubts. I can feel at times bursts of nutrition in the sense of that there's nourishment from my magic, from the universe for a second, but it's not enough of a kick to really get me all the way over. So I'm just creating the habit of continuing to cast my magic out, even if I have no idea where it's going, even if I have no idea what it's building to. I'm just gonna try to have trust that eventually something really amazing will sprout. I'll be happy that it kept going. Anyway, comment down below. Do you feel the same as me? Have you been in a very dark, deep dirt situation? Maybe just in one aspect of your life and all the other aspects are fine. Maybe in all the aspects of your life. Eesh. What do you do to keep yourself going? Even when like all the inner intuitions and trust and all that stuff aren't really working? Apparently what I do is doll myself up with some crazy makeup. Or crazier than normal, I guess. Something just a little bit off than what you normally do. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hopefully by then, I'll have a sprouting plant. A little bit of life that I can talk about. Bye-bye.